All right, guys, welcome to the video here today. My name is Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. I also sell my personal bets on brockpage.com, and I have packages on that website starting at just $1.99. Now, the link for my $1.99 daily best play is in the description section below. But with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free Major League Baseball content. Now, real quick, guys, I don't want to say a little bit different format, but I typically have my notes either right in front or right behind the camera, just so it kind of looks like, I'm making eye contact with you and I'm engaging with you. I actually have my notes on the side here. It's a little bit more on the side. So if I'm not looking directly at you or if it doesn't seem like I'm paying attention to you, I am. I'm still reading the same notes that I normally do. It's a little bit more on the side here. So if it's just horrible and you hate it, just let me know. Maybe I'll change it, but it's a little bit more comfortable for me. And it's easier to do to have the notes on the side. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive into it. We're going to go ahead and start off with the Mets taking on the Nationals here today. And that's going to be a 1:05 Eastern first pitch. Now the Mets are the $1.50 favorite in this one. Total's 8.5. We have Taijuan Walker on the bump here for New York. Yoan Adon for Washington. And I'll tell you what, it's been a pretty rough go of things for Adon, even though he did get the W in his last outing. But he's just 1-5 on the year with a 6.99 ERA and a 1.66 WHIP. Certainly some growing pains there for him. And he has struggled a little bit with control. He's walked 18 batters already. And when it comes to offensive production with Washington, really struggling hitting for power. They're not hitting a whole lot of homers. They're actually in the bottom 10 in the majors right now in home runs per contest. So this Washington lineup not doing a great job hitting for power. And certainly bad news for them because they're going up against a very good Mets pitching staff. Actually, these Mets pitchers are in the top 3 in the bigs right now in striking batters out, and they're also in the top 3 in opponents' batting average. This has been a really, really tough Mets pitching staff, and when it comes to offensive production, they actually have the offense this year to match. I know last year they struggled at the plate. Well, this year they've been very good hitting the baseball. You know, you got guys like Pete Alonso, who's got 8 home runs on the year. Of course, Jeff McNeil can't get him out. He's batting .330. And it just always seems like he's on the bases. One more thing to add here about this Mets lineup. They're actually leading the majors right now in team batting average. So, like I said, these guys really doing a nice job at the plate. Now, total-wise, the Mets are 4-0 to the over in their last 4 Taijuan Walker starts as the road favorite. So, kind of a quirky trend there. But when these guys are the road favorite and Walker gets the nod, they have gone 4-0 to the over. I think the Mets should get the job done in this spot here. I'm going to lean toward New York, minus $1.50, and the over 8.5 runs. All right, next ball game. It is going to be Oakland taking on Detroit, 1:10 p.m. East. Now, Detroit's the $1.15 favorite with the total at 7.5. They're the slight 5-cent favorite in this one, despite how bad they are. But anyway, pitching-wise, Bo Breesky for the Tigers, James Caprillion for the Athletics on the other side of things. Now, total-wise, Detroit's 8-1 to the under in their last 9 ball games. Meanwhile, Oakland, they've gone 80% to the under in their last 10 themselves. So certainly plenty of unders between these two organizations. Of course, when it comes to selecting a winner in this one, this game is being featured as my extra daily bet on brockpage.com. That play costs just $2.99. And guys, just remember, if you sign up for a membership on my website, you're going to get access to that membership every single day, all the way through the end of May. So once again, when it comes to selecting a winner in this one, that game is being featured as my extra daily bet. So if you want to see whether I'm leaning toward Oakland or the Tigers, only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for that extra daily bet. And the link for that play is in the description section below. But as far as making a free pick is concerned for that ball game, too many unders to pass up. We're going to go ahead and lean toward the under 7.5 in that contest. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Orioles taking on the Cards, 1:15 Eastern first pitch. Now, this game is currently off the board. We don't have any lines for this one as of yet, and most of that is because we don't have a confirmed starter yet for Baltimore. Looks like Jordan Hicks, he's going to take the mound here for St. Louis. Now, it could be Keegan Aiken for Baltimore, but he's not yet confirmed. We, like I said, we don't have a confirmed starter. Now, if it is Aiken that takes the hill here, he has shown some really good stuff here this year for Baltimore, but still no wins. He's still in search of his first win of the year, and of course, most of that is because of Baltimore's offensive production or lack thereof. The O's are averaging only 3.5 runs a game this year, and they strike out a lot. Don't really know how to sugarcoat it. They strike out a lot at the plate, having a lot of problems making contact, and that's certainly problems for them because Jordan Hicks, he's shown some pretty good stuff this year. He's got a 3.78 ERA. Also, pretty good strikeout here. Strikeouts for him. Strikeouts are up. He's got 18 Ks and just over 16 innings of work, so a little bit over a strikeout an inning for Hicks. And speaking of this St. Louis pitching staff, they're allowing only 3.5 runs a game, and they're in the top 10 in the majors and fewest home runs allowed per 9. So doing a great job keeping the ball in the park. I think St. Louis should do a good job shutting down Baltimore here today. Now, offensively, the Cards, they got guys like Nolan Arenado, who's hit 7 home runs on the year, along with 10 doubles. A lot of extra base hits for this guy. Arenado's also batting .315 at the plate. And a couple more things to add about this St. Louis lineup. They're currently in the top 10 in the majors right now in runs per contest. They're averaging nearly 5 runs a game, and they're also amongst the best in the National League offensively at fewest strikeouts at the plate, doing a great job making contact. So with all that said and done, even though we have no line for this game, I'm going to lean towards St. Louis winning this one outright for some money line cash. All right, next contest I have for you, it is going to be Houston taking on Minnesota, and that's going to be a 4:10 Eastern first pitch. Now, Houston's the $1.35 favorite, totals 8.5. Luis Garcia for the Astros, Josh Winder for Minnesota. Now, Winder's shown some pretty good stuff here. He's 2-0 on the year, 1.61 ERA, .72 whip. Handful of really good starts here for Winder. Meanwhile, offensively, Minnesota does a pretty good job hitting for power. They're amongst the better teams in the American League in home runs, and they've also gotten the W in 7 out of their last 10 ball games. Now, Houston on the other side, they're kind of struggling a bit offensively this year. They're actually in the bottom 5 right now in the bigs in team batting average. And when it comes to the total in this one, no real surprise here. Houston's 4-0 to the under in their last 4 as the road favorite. They're also 5-0 to the under in their last 5 against the AL Central. So another one of those quirky trends there, but certainly a trend that has been significant. Once again, Houston 5-0 to the under in their last 5 against the American League Central. Now, Minnesota on the other side of things, they're 5-0 to the under in their last 5 outings themselves. I think they should be able to keep this one close. I don't see a whole lot of runs in this one. I'm going to lean toward Minnesota plus 1.5. And the under 8.5 runs. All right, next ball game. It is going to be Cincinnati taking on Pittsburgh, 6:35 East. Pittsburgh, they are the $1.40 favorite, totals 8 runs. And we actually saw a 10-cent move toward the Pirates in the early going here. So Pittsburgh opened $1.30, now up to $1.40 with that total at 8 runs. JT Brubaker on the bump here for Pittsburgh. Connor Overton for Cincinnati. Now, guys, Overton's shown some pretty good stuff here. He's got a 2.53 ERA, a 1.03 whip. So Overton does have the ability to keep these guys in ball games. And speaking of which, Cincinnati's strung together a couple of wins here after that dreadful start. They got the W in 4 out of their last 6 ball games with victories over the likes of Milwaukee and this very Pittsburgh team. And matter of fact, these bats have come alive here for Cincinnati. They averaged 8.2 runs a game in their last 6 outings as well. So kind of day and night here. We're seeing some really good opportunities here for Cincinnati to score. Now, offensively, Brandon Drury, he's hit 6 home runs. And he also has 18 RBI on the year. And, of course, Tommy Pham seems like when he gets on the bases, he scores. He's touched home plate 20 times already. Now, they're taking on JT Brubaker here today. That could potentially be advantageous for Cincinnati because Brubaker's 0-2 on the year, still in search of his first victory. He's also got a 5.68 ERA and a 1.42 whip. Meanwhile, offensively, well, Pittsburgh really just doesn't do enough at the plate, to help these pitchers stay in ball games. So even if Brubaker has a good outing, this Pittsburgh lineup, they're averaging only 3.8 runs a game. And they're also in the bottom 10 in the majors right now in strikeouts at the plate. So strikeouts are up for this Pittsburgh lineup. Now, total-wise, the Pirates are 6-0 to the over in their last 6 ball games when laying the juice. Meanwhile, Cincinnati's 9-0 to the over in their last 9, facing a divisional opponent themselves. Plenty of overs to go around. I'm going to lean towards Cincinnati plus 1.5, keeping this one close in the over 8 runs. All right, next ball game I have for you. It is going to be Royals taking on the Rangers, 8:05 Eastern first pitch. Now, Texas is minus 135, totals 8 runs. And we have seen some significant line movement here. We saw a 5-cent move toward Texas and a 0.5 point move downward on the total. So once again, Texas open $1.30 up to 135. Total open 8.5 down to 8. Looks like we got Taylor Hearn on the bump here for Texas. John Heasley making his debut for Kansas City. Really couldn't come at a worse time. Kansas City not playing great baseball. They lost 7 out of their last 10. And offensively, they're scoring less than 3.4 runs a game. Really struggling at the plate. Even more to add to that, Kansas City, they're currently in the bottom 3 right now in the bigs in OPS. And they're amongst the worst teams in the American League right now in hitting for power. One of the worst teams in the AL right now in homers per 9. Now, pitching-wise for Texas on the other side of things, Taylor Hearn, couple rough outings here, but strikeouts are up for him. He's doing a good job fanning his opponents. He's got 24 strikeouts and just over 20 innings of work. Texas putting together a couple of wins here, 6-3 straight up in their last 9 victories against the likes of the Yankees, Phillies, Atlanta, and this very Royals team during that stretch. They actually averaged over 4.5 runs a game in those victories during that span. And when it comes to offensive production, Corey Seager, he's got 7 home runs on the year and 49 total bases. Now, total-wise, Texas 5-1 to the over in their last 6 against the AL Central. Meanwhile, the Royals, they've gone 4-0 to the over in their last 4 against the AL West. I'm going to lean toward Texas minus $1.35, getting the job done on the money line and the over 8 runs. All right, next ball game, it is going to be Yankees taking on the White Sox, 8:10 p.m. East. Chicago's minus $1.45, totals 8 runs. And we saw a 15-cent move toward the White Sox in the early wagering. They open $1.30 up to 145. Once again, totals 8 runs. And of course, we've seen this line movement, 1, because Dylan Cease is on the mound here for Chicago, and 2, Luis Gil is making his debut here this year for the Yankees. And I'll tell you what, despite how green Gil has been, kind of a pun there, green around the gills. But anyway, despite how, green Gil is this season, New York's on a 3-game winning streak, and they also got the W in 8 out of their last 10. Now, offensively, no matter how good or bad Gil does, this New York lineup can keep you in any ball game. They're in the top 3 in the majors right now in homers, and they're also in the top 3 in OPS right now. These guys, a lot of hits, a lot of walks, a lot of extra base hits. Guys like Aaron Judge, 10 homers on the year. He's leading the majors right now in that category. And of course, Anthony Rizzo, he's right behind him with 9 homers on the year. And he's also ranking in the top 10 of the bigs right now in runs batted in. Now they're taking on a Chicago lineup on the other side of things, completely opposite. Struggle to get on base, struggle to score runs. The White Sox are averaging less than 3.6 runs a game, and they're currently in the bottom 10 in the majors in OPS. So I know they've been stringing together a bunch of wins here recently. Not sure if they have the firepower here today to keep up with the Yankees. And another kind of interesting trend here, the White Sox have lost their last 5 straight Thursday games. So I don't know what it is about Thursday. Could be coincidence, but 0-5 in their last 5 Thursday games. And when it comes to head-to-head meetings between these two squads, Chicago lost 7 out of their last 8 against New York. Now, total-wise, Chicago, the White Sox, they are 80% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Yankees, on the other side of things, their pitching staff has been awesome this year. They're limiting their competition to just 2.7 runs a game. I think the Yankees should be at least able to keep this one close. I'm going to lean toward the Yankees plus 1.5 and the under 8 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It is going to be Phillies taking on the Dodgers. And that's going to be a 10:10 Eastern first pitch. Now, the Dodgers are the $1.45 favorite. Totals 8 runs. And, of course, we saw a 10-cent move toward the Dodgers in the early wagering. No real surprise there. Tyler Anderson on the bump here for Los Angeles. Zach Wheeler for Philadelphia. And even though Wheeler really is, considered one of, the studs on the starting rotation, he's just 1-3 on the year with a 4.10 ERA for Philly. Now, Philadelphia, they dropped 6 out of their last 9 outings, and they're actually 0-4 straight up in their last 4 ball games following a win. So they took care of business yesterday against Seattle, but unfortunately, these guys have lost their last 4 straight following a win, so could potentially be bad news for them. And, of course, they're taking on a Dodger lineup here who's scoring more runs a game than any other team in the majors. These guys are leading the league right now in runs per contest. And, of course, Freddie Freeman, he's a big contributor to that. He's batting .315, along with 15 free passes. So he does a good job just getting on base in general. He can hit it. He's got a good eye. He can walk. Freddie Freeman always on the base paths. And of course, Mookie Betts, when he gets on the base paths, seems like he always scores. He's got 26 runs on the year already. And of course, even if this, Dodger lineup, kind of struggles here today, they've got Tyler Anderson on the bump here. He's going to keep them in the game. He's 3-0 in the year, 2.78 ERA, .97 whip. Certainly some really good starts out of Anderson. Now, total-wise, oddly enough, the Dodgers are 6-3 to the over in their last 9. Meanwhile, Philadelphia, they saw their last 5 straight ball games against the NL West get over the posted total themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Dodgers minus 145 and the over 8 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we have packages on that website starting at just $1.99. I like the Mets minus 150 over 8.5. I also like the under 7.5 in the Oakland-Detroit game. Give me the Cardinals winning that one outright for some money line cash. I also like Minnesota plus 1.5 under 8.5. Give me Cincinnati plus 1.5 over 8 runs. I also like the Rangers minus 135 over 8. Give me the Yankees plus 1.5 under 8 runs. And with my next and final free pick for the video, I'm going to lean toward the Dodgers minus 145 and the over 8 in that ball game. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on brockpage.com, you're going to get access to that content every single day all the way through the end of May. I always tell folks in almost every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And guys, if you want to get access to every single pick, every single bet that I give out on that website, you may want to think about signing up for my board member tier package. Board members actually get access to every single membership that I offer on that website every single day, all the way through the end of May. It's an all-inclusive membership. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Once again, hopefully you're adjusting well to, like, I don't want to say it's not a different format, but like I said, I normally have my notes in front of the camera, but now I have it like slightly to the side. Just makes things a little bit easier for me. But hopefully that didn't take away too much from the content here today. Although I think probably a lot of you guys either listen to this on your way to work, to the sports book, or even when you're at work. So you guys probably aren't even watching the delivery. But regardless of that, guys, most importantly, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.